Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics on Thursday, March 18th. Quick video on something I just felt people should be aware of. I wanted to get this out all day and finally have a chance to now because I was rather stunned to hear the comments from Joe Biden, who has yet to give a State of the Union address. And I'm not trying to be funny here, some of his public appearances are bizarre. And then he did an interview with Good Morning America, and I will play so you can hear for yourself what he says here.
Putin authorized operations during the election to denigrate you, support President Trump, undermine our elections, divide our society. What price must he pay?
He will pay a price. We had a long talk, he and I. I know him relatively well. And the conversation started off, I said, I know you and you know me. If I establish this occurred, then be prepared.
You said you know he doesn't have a soul.
Well, I did say that to him, yes. And his response was, we understand one another. I wasn't being a wise guy. I was alone with him in his office. That's how it came about. It was when President Bush had said, I've looked in his eyes and saw a soul. I said, looked in your eyes, and I don't think you have a soul. And looked back at me and said, we understand each other. Look, most important thing dealing with foreign leaders, in my experience, and I've dealt with an awful lot of them over my career, is just know the other guy.
So you know Vladimir Putin. You think he's a killer?
Mm-hmm. I do.
So what price must he pay?
The price he's going to pay, well, you'll see shortly. I'm not going to, by the way, we ought to be able, that trite expression, walk and chew gum at the same time. There are places where it's in our mutual interest to work together. That's why I renewed the START agreement with him. That occurred while he's doing this. But that's overwhelming in the interest of humanity that we diminish the prospect of a nuclear exchange.
Now, someone with his background, that just seems like a comment that, as someone living in the United States, I'm not comfortable with. I don't have the first clue what Vladimir Putin's done. If it's anything like what U.S. politicians do, I'm sure it's stuff I wouldn't want to be involved with. But is that the way to handle it? Piss in his face? Isn't the whole point of president to be the mature one, the leader? You're going to say that? And then at the same time, Iran's defense ministry, we hear, warns citizens to prepare for nuclear and chemical attacks. Here's Joe Biden in China, gets off to a rocky start after kicked off with an exchange of insults. I thought we had this corona disaster that's already made life hard enough for people. That's the reason that the Fed has to destroy the currency. The reason the Exchange Stabilization Fund has to participate in destroying the value of anyone who can see what's happening and rigging the gold and silver. And then on top of it, he references a nuclear exchange at the end.
Overwhelming in the interest of humanity that we diminish the prospect of a nuclear exchange.
Now, I don't know if that's supposed to be a threat, but someone with his background, I find that highly darn inappropriate thing to even bring up. That's like saying, don't look at the big pink elephant in the room. Find any hostage negotiator or anyone who's studied 10 seconds of marketing. And I don't particularly appreciate Joe Biden being cool hand Luke around the nuke button, putting the whole world at his poker chip. Apparently, I'm not the only one who felt that way. Here's the stupid press conference at the White House. Maybe I'm watching too many movies, but I'll bet there's some symbolism in that bright red dress, but we'll leave that aside for today.
Go ahead.
Just to follow up quickly, you're talking about self-reflection. Does President Biden regret calling Vladimir Putin a killer?
No, the president gave a direct answer to a direct question.
So then how is that?
So you felt that was the best way to handle it. And I might add, hey, I don't expect everybody to do things the way I do, but I've learned, especially for going through childhood, earlier years, where things didn't go so well in many situations. And, when you blow up at someone in public, usually they don't like that very much. So I've learned that, even if I have an issue, even if I think someone else has done something incredibly wrong, well, maybe I guess not a good example with JP Morgan. Well, I don't care what they say, but where's the leadership of, all right, speak to the man, handle it. Don't try and irritate him. But even the press conference person circles back on everything. She's okay with it.
How, you don't want to escalate tensions. How is that constructive to the relationship when you talk about diplomacy being primary between the U.S. and Russia? How is calling Vladimir Putin a killer constructive to that relationship?
Well, President Biden has known President Putin for a long time. They've both been on the global stage for a long time, worked through many iterations of a relationship between the United States and Russia, and he believes we can continue to do that.
Does the president believe that?
Why does the damn reporter act more responsible than the alleged president? I don't care what happened. There's no way that was the best way to handle this. And would you believe it that Vladimir Putin came back with a response? And we'll be back with that one shortly.